guys, happy Wednesday. We are halfway through the week. I don't know if you're as excited as I am, but hopefully we keep it going and all the excitement stays through to the weekend and we have an amazing one here soon. But for today, we have an awesome episode for you. A special little treat. Miss Jessica Davis, our head designer, is actually going to be giving a segment today about inside your design packet. It's full of information. She's got a great insight because she is the one who poured her heart and soul into this design packet to make it for you, the customer. So without further ado, let's get started. But before that, we're gonna go to the normal programming. So as always, $500 off your Mallett building. If you are a healthcare worker, first responder, military personnel, teacher, or educator, we just wanna say thank you. So whenever you come purchase your Mallett building, not if, but when, we want to make sure you get $500 off that gets to stay in your pocket. It's our little thank you for doing what you do to help make our community a safe and better and more educated place. Moving right along, Tiger Cash. If you comment cash on this live stream or a live stream like this, you can receive $1,000 off your elite or signature building. Now, it does not apply to these special promotions or different specials. However, for our regularly priced buildings or anything from our lineup, elite, classic, or signature, you can receive $1,000 off just by commenting Tiger Cash. And if you fall into one of these categories, guess what? That's $1,500 that stays in your pocket. So you get to have a little extra off just for being who you are. Moving right along, where's Mallett? We are in over 87 job locations this week, you guys. That's amazing. Look at all these color-coded spots. If you want your location on this map, come give us a call. Talk to us and get your Mallett building in schedule. So in Louisiana, we have 69 jobs going on from everywhere from Rain to Baton Rouge, Church Point, Basile, Cottonport, LaRanger, Port Allen. The list goes on and on. We're all over. We're filling up everywhere from the border to Kisatchie area down to the south, all the way through I-10 to 90, all the way over to Mississippi. We're everywhere here in Louisiana, and we'd love to put you on the map as well. In Texas, we have 16 current jobs going on, probably a few more. This was Monday's information, but San Leon, Port Neches, Crosby, Vidor, Dayton, Van Vleck, China, not that China, China, Texas, but we're all over the east side of Texas as well. Texas folk, we'd love to have you on our map as well. Let us know when we can get started. Now, November specials and promotions. We got some cool stuff for you. As always, let me walk on this side so you can see the information. We're having a special on our classics this month, you guys. Our entry-level building, but don't let that stop you. Entry-level does not mean basic, does not mean it's not great. Our entry-level building is better than most people's highest quality building, and let me show you why. Our Mallett Classic comes with 26 gauge metal standard. 5-on-12 roof pitch standard, 2x12 headers and 2x8 scissor trusses, guess what? Standard. And those trusses are going to be rated 170-mile-an-hour wind ratings. And they're also third-party inspected, so you can guarantee they're not only inspected here in-house, but third-party. What does that mean? That means you are getting the best quality and consistency every single time. Moving right along, we have the Mallett cable lock system. This is a wonderful system created here at Mallett, hence the name. It is taking 1/8 inch aircraft cable spanning post to post all the way around through under the building, and it is going to have the concrete slab, which in the case of the Classic is a 4-inch 4,000 PSI slab. That's going to go right over on top of a moisture barrier that's placed on top of these cables, and that's going to allow for uplift control for if a wind comes in, a bad storm knocks a window, door, roll-up door, any of those options out. It's not going to act like a parachute and pull the building up from the ground as in most designs. The way we do it here at Mallett, we anchor it to the concrete, not simply with bolts through the concrete forming flex points, but we use the cable lock system underneath, so that wind's going to have to not only bring the building, but the slab with it, and in our experience, that doesn't happen. So speaking of concrete, we put concrete under every post as well, so you're not simply on the dirt, you have a concrete pad, and that's going to prevent the building from sinking, because I know a building flying away is bad, but what's worse than a building that hasn't flown away but looks like this because it sank? So we want to prevent that as well, and that's something we do here at Mallett. Speaking of things we do here at Mallett, we also put skirt board guards around the base to protect for ground protection. We're going to have a 4-year workmanship warranty on the Classic, and every single building and every single thing we do here at Mallett uses #1 MCA ground treated kiln dried lumber. We went over this before in the past, but what does that mean? That means it is treated to a specific temperature for a specific time. That's going to kill off microbials, insects, eggs, bacteria, all these things that could over time destroy your wood. That heat's going to kill it, and the treatment's going to prevent more of it from showing up, extending the life of your wood indefinitely. Now, we're going to have in-house engineering. You meet with Mr. Darrell every Monday. That's going to be making sure the designs and trusses are also verified. Everything is up to our design standard, up to code, far exceeding code if you want to be honest, but our design standards are not simply the state standards or the government standards. We make sure things are engineered as best as we possibly can, hence our 170-mile-an-hour truss rating, and we're proud of that. But that being said, those are the specs for the Classic. Let me tell you about the building itself. For $33,999, you can get a 30 by 30 by 12 Mallett Classic with a 30 by 20 gable extension, guys. That's an additional 20 feet on the side for you for any of your activities, get-togethers, family cookings, watching the game. LSU seems like they may want to do better. I'm not going to say it because that's going to jinx it, but we had a win. We had a win. So, great place for any of that to happen. And again, all these specs, it's hard to beat that. So, moving along to the next one. Same specs, it's a Classic building, but it's $44,999. Why? Because it's a 30 by 50 by 12 with a 30 by 24 gable extension. A little bit bigger building, a little bit bigger extension. Lots more room to have activities, to have things happen inside. It's the perfect for an indoor-outdoor experience. It's perfect for a shop. Anything you want on it. You could even ask us about our electrical package and our heating and cooling packages, because we could have this full thing fledged out for lights, AC, and heat. It's good all year round. You never have to leave if you really don't want to. Now, the final piece of the promotional puzzle this month is the top tier Mallett Classic for the specials. It's going to be $69,999, but it's going to be a 40 by 60 by 12 with a 40 by 30 gable extension. Huge. Lots of room for activities. You could park vehicles, you could have hangouts, plenty of room for a functional workshop or even a separate dwelling if you choose to finish it out that way. The potential is endless. Where else for $70,000 could you get the shell for a livable space? Or could you get a workshop? Or could you get anything of this nature and a spot for the family to hang out and or park your vehicles? Possibilities are endless. It's only limited to your imagination. But for $70,000, that's an amazing deal, you guys. I think so myself. And of course, it comes with all the Mallett standard that is better than most people's best. Moving right along, we have the Rival Series. Always want to emphasize, this is not a Mallett building, but it's Mallett built. What does that mean? I'll tell you the differences in the Rival and the Classic here soon, so stay watching. But for 30 by 30 by 12, $18,999. This is for our budget-friendly shoppers. This is the one that, again, not Mallett built, so it's not going to come with the cable system. It's not going to come with the upgraded, the 5-on-12 pitch, the trusses that are rated for 170. Things like that are not part of this because we're trying to make sure we get all spectrum of sales for the budget-friendly shoppers here. So, that being said, 30 by 30 by 12 for $18.99. Still a great looking building, but you're missing out on a few of the Mallett Classic features, but that's okay. Moving right along, we have 30 by 50 by 12 for $27,999. Same thing, Rival Series, Mallett built, not a Mallett building. We'll explain more in a second. 40 by 60 by 12, $39,999. Big building, big savings. Now, it's not a Mallett building, but we'll sure build it for you. We're the best builders in the country, people. There's no other option when it comes to who you want to build your post-frame building. Our technique is far beyond anyone else. We've been doing this 27 years. Learned a thing or two. Now, Mallett Buildings Ambassador Club. I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. We've had a chance to call and speak to a few people. Others we haven't had the chance to yet, but I'm going to go ahead and say it here on the live. We had talked about a big party happening for Christmas this year, and due to unfortunate, unforeseen circumstances, we are no longer able to have our party in December. I know this is where the audience would boo and say, "Aw," but that's what's happening. I'm so sorry. I was really excited to get to meet everybody. I had my whole day blocked off, so this is definitely throwing a wrench in my plans for a Saturday evening, I tell you what. but we will be getting something soon to, I don't want to say make up for it because there's nothing better than a good time, but we'll definitely be getting involved with you guys and getting in touch with everyone here soon. All of our ambassadors, we love and appreciate you. If we could change the circumstances, we would, but unfortunately, life happens and it's not always for the better. But that being said, we will make sure to be getting in touch with every one of our ambassadors here soon to be sure you are taken care of and thought about this Christmas season. So thank you for all you do, and if you want to send us a few more referrals, we'll be happy to send you a few more referral checks. So keep that in mind moving forward. If you're not a member of our ambassador program, we're going to have a full informational sweep here soon of all the new things happening in our ambassador program. Stay tuned for that. Give us a call if you have any questions, comment on the video ambassador, and I'll be sure to send you as much information as we possibly can. So the 5 red flags, we always want to talk about these so you can be informed. Years in business. Check how long the business has been around on the Secretary of State website. Length of business is important. You don't want to be someone's first customer. You don't want to be someone's last customer. That being said, we've had over 25,000 buildings on the ground in our 27 years. Think about that. That's a huge number, you guys. That's a lot of buildings, a lot of experiences, and all that experience means is you have a tailored experience, and that tailoring is to have the best time possible because we've learned a thing or two, and we can't wait to have you understand the Mallett process and be a part of it and get your Mallett building. So years in business is important. Check that on the Secretary of State website. See how long they've been in business. So licensure, something super important we always want to stress. Ensure the company you are considering doing business with is actually a licensed business. Do this at the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, the LSLBC for short. Before we get into that, contractor violations can also be checked on the LSLBC. You want to make sure the company you're considering doing business with is free of contractor violations. This includes fraud and other illegal activities. So between licensure and contractor violations, there's a lot to consider here because I always say if they break the law once, they're going to do it again. Because they got away with it once, they get a little more bold, they're willing to break it even more the next time, and why would you risk that being with yourself? Here at Mallett, we've been licensed for 27 years, and we have 0 violations in those years. Not only that, Mr. Lee is on the board of contractors, and I know what you're thinking, well, Tyler, no, that just means he's held to a higher standard than most people. Not only is he a business owner here, he helps oversee the board. What does that mean? It means he's scrutinized even more because the people who make the laws, in this case, are held to a higher standard to be enforced by those laws. So keep that in mind when you work here at Mallett. You are working with the people who are hands-on and actually being involved in the process, trying to make your journey as a customer even better and life better for contractors. That being said, reviews in the BBB and Google, don't just take a company at their word. Don't just take us at our word. See what the public has to say. Check the reviews of who you're shopping with and see how they have done on past work. You can do this at the Better Business Bureau or the BBB and Google reviews. We have over 600 reviews between the BBB and Google. We are also A+ rated on the BBB. What does that mean? We are in good standing with the Bureau, and based on our reviews, 4.8 stars with over 600 reviews, I'd say we're in good standing with the public too. So I encourage you to check those out, not only for us, but for anyone you're shopping around with. And whenever you realize who the better option is, our phones are ready to get a call from you. So visit the contractor's facility. Once you've done your research and realize Mallett's the best, because we are, see where your building is prepared before we bring the materials to your site. Here at Mallett, we have our own truss plant, and we're soon to have the roll form plant. I haven't shared pictures like some of you have asked because we're not there yet. If you've driven by I-10, that's about the best preview I can give you for right now. But Mr. Trent, I was talking to him the other day, he wants it to be a surprise. It's going to be a huge production, a huge thing happening over here where all of the metal can be formed here in-house, not only giving you, the customer, better deals because we can do it ourselves, but it also allows for better quality control so you get more affordable and better quality because it's the Mallett standard every single time. But I want you to come check it out, see where each 2x8 truss is made in-house, and meet the team, shake some hands. You can come visit us in the marketing department. You can meet Mr. Lee if he's here and available, but get with the building specialist, take a tour. I highly encourage you to take a little 5-10 minute tour. It's wonderful, very educational, and can't wait to see you here on the property. The facility is amazing. Now, to where we talked about earlier, the difference in the Rival and the Mallett Classic. Remember, this is our entry level. but that doesn't mean it's not still amazing. And this is why. This is what most of our competitors want to sell, hence the name Rivals Series. We want to be on par, but we're still better, to be honest. And I'll tell you why. They're going to use 29 gauge metal, or the Rival Series 29 gauge metal, 4-on-12 roof pitch, 2x6 trusses, common flat trusses, 130 mile/hour wind rating, no uplift control, post in the dirt or gravel. This horrible list goes on and on. Mallett Classic, we read these specs already on the other series, but 3,000 PSI concrete, we've got 4,000. No ground protection, we have the skirt board guards. Limited warranty, if any, we're gonna have a 4-year workmanship warranty base. Second, number 2, untreated generic lumber. We have number 1, MCA ground treated kiln dried lumber. That just rolls off the tongue how wonderful that is. Again, the comparison with our base model is just out of this world different. So my thoughts are, why not get in where you get in on the better one? Because this is doable, but this is so much better. And just an opinion of an honest man. Moving right along, this is the comparison now. We figured, why should we stay comparing our buildings to other people when we build totally different buildings? So we compared it to ourselves. So we compare our classic building, which again is our entry level, to our elite building. Mr. Tim, Mr. Tommy, happy Wednesday, you guys. So glad of you to join. Very much appreciate you being here and all that you do. These are 2 of our wonderful ambassadors as well. So if you have any questions, they are more than happy to answer them. Just let them know. I'm pretty sure you could always check their building out, and they're always down for a phone call. Thank you guys for joining, and happy to have you here. But back to this, the elite difference. The elite is everything the classic has, plus what makes it elite, which is a little bit different. I'll highlight a few things here. Truss system, 5-foot spacing, 3-foot spacing on the elite, so you get a lot more trusses per building size. 10-foot on center for post spacing, 9-foot on center for the elite building. The concrete slab is a 4-inch slab with concrete under each post, standard. The elite has 6-inch, 4,000 PSI microfiber reinforced concrete with control joints as well, so much more sturdy, much more quality build. Not that this isn't quality, it's still better than most people, but we've upped ourselves on the elite. Let's see. Under post protection, concrete under the post for the classic. The elite's going to have concrete under the post and post protectors. Now, keep in mind, these are all things you can add to a classic. These are all upgrades you can do, or you can just get it with the elite. And let me tell you a few more things. Insulation, it's hot here in Louisiana and it's cold for maybe a week out of the year, but optional radiant barrier on the classic. The elite comes with full roof and wall insulation included. So that's a deal right there. Continuous ridge vent as opposed to standard ridge cap. Seamless gutter and gutter guards, wainscot trim, 145 engineered wind rating, 10-year workmanship warranty. The list is just amazing, guys, and that's comparing it to our own building. Both of these are phenomenal. So, inside your design packet, we mentioned Miss Jessica has a quick little video for you guys. Sit back, grab some popcorn, relax, enjoy the show. Over to you, Jessica.
All right, so everybody, this is Jessica Davis, your lead designer here at Mallett Buildings. I've been here over 2 years, almost 2.5 years. And today we're going to talk about the design approval packet, which is basically what I pour my heart into for you guys. Okay, we're going to start with page 1. Page 1 is what I like to call a snapshot of everything from your contract checklist. So in the first column, we have your colors and some accessories. And then in the second column, we have like the components of your building and other accessories as a part of your building, doors, windows, insulation, and the like. And then in the additional notes is anything that doesn't have a normal line item or it's a newer addition into your build, it will be listed there. If there's anything that's not listed here, it will be somewhere else in there, but the lead stuff, the important stuff, page 1 and page 4 are your most important. Over here on page 2 is an overview of why we do things the way we do them. It's not necessarily going to apply to your building. As I said, it's an overview that goes into every single one. If it applies, great. If it doesn't apply, that's fine too. The biggest thing that doesn't apply here is if you have a 16-foot building and a 12-foot roll-up door. You're not going to be worried about the clearance because you have way more than what's necessary. Okay? That's pretty much it for this one. This right here is the specifications, and it does have components from your contract checklist in here. I'll point some out for you real quick. We have your name and your address. I need you to double check and make sure that's correct. If you don't have an address whenever you give us your contract, and you get one by the time I get this, you can call us, we can update it to what your actual address is. And then your building component sizes are a repeat of what's on page 1. And we have the wall height here. The wall height will be the main building wall height. They should match. As well as you got the post size, the post space on the eave walls. The eave walls are the ones that are holding up the truss. They're the heart of your building. And then you have the post size and the post spacing of the gable ends. They're hitting a lot of force from the side. They're not holding up your building, but they're keeping your building from racking. Foot depth, 3 foot. Girders are actually what we like to call truss carriers. They're the components that are actually holding up your truss to the post. And then the gauge. We have 26 gauge roof metal and 26 gauge wall metal. Those are the big highlights that we as designers look at every single day to make sure they match. Everything else pretty much stays the same unless someone has a special request. And then for here, what you're looking at most is the roof pitch, which is 5 on 12 for 90% of our buildings here. We get a couple of occasions where someone has height clearance issues and you want clearance inside your building. So the easiest way to do that is reduce your pitch. It is a custom truss, it is a custom price, but it's possible. And the majority of our trusses for the elites are 3 foot spacing. The heel height will determine the length of the metal on your building. We do it based off of truss sizes. It's just something good for us to know to make sure we double check and do our job and our due diligence. And then risk category and wind speed. For an elite building, we automatically go to risk category 2 and 145 miles an hour wind design. However, your location may be like this here, which is only 126. In a signature or classic building, these are 1 and 130. So with an elite, you're already getting something that is of residential risk category and 145 miles an hour. And those are the biggest things you're going to be looking for on page 3. Lots of engineering stuff. I have Daryl help guide us in the right direction into these, especially here if we need to make some major adjustments, especially if you have something in a higher wind category. Now this is going to be the heart of your paperwork because this is what the builders are going to build off of. The biggest thing that I get all the time is, why does my dimension say 29 foot 9 inches and not 30 feet? It's an easy answer. It's the easiest answer in the world, because it is outside to outside of post. The building that you buy is actually outside to outside of girt, and that girt is a 2x6. So that's 1.5 inches on this side and 1.5 inches on this side is being sunken in, because the girt's not going to be the first thing going up. The girt's going to be the last few things that are going up. the posts are going in first. So that's why they need to know where the posts go and not where the girts go, because they come in after. And that'll help you determine if things in the corner are like, well, I wanted it 3 foot. It doesn't say 3 foot. It says 2 foot 10.5. Well, that's where the 1.5 comes from. There's plenty of other things we can go over on here. You got your windows noted and your doors noted and your roll-up doors noted on here. You want to be looking to make sure that what you bought, you should have a copy of your contract checklist, matches the number and quantity and sizes of the openings on here. Sometimes things get lost in translation, and that's okay, we can fix it. But you don't sign until you make sure that this is correct, because the builders build off of this. This page right here is pretty self-explanatory. People have a hard time in the general public not being able to know what they're looking at in a plan. And I totally get it. It's not easy as everyone. Not everybody thinks in 3D. That's what these pictures are for, to allow you to see in 3D what you're buying. We do have the colors in here. The colors are not the exact colors of your building. You have to go back and look at your color swatches for that. It is a computer rendering. It's never going to be exactly the same thing as a color swatch. You always have your front, your back, your left, your right, and a perspective view. All of these pictures are in perspective. They're just on a view. So if you're like, well, I got to post it my way, or something here doesn't look right, it is an eye view. It is askewed, and that's okay. As long as it's correct and planned, or you don't have a post in your way in your plan, you'll be fine. This right here is a lot of information for new people, but this is something that's required for your permit office. They get to see what your building is entailing and what we're doing. Like I have 6x6 posts, 2x6 truss carriers. My post does not stop anywhere in here. My post goes and extends to the top and gets cut off after it is set. We have webbing that is 2x8. We have a bottom cord that is 2x8. We have the truss itself is a 2x8 brace per manufacturer specs, which we'll get to later. And then you have the 2x8 top cord, roof metal, the purlins, the siding, and then over here I have what that specific information about your building here. That is taken directly from page 3, okay? And that sums up that page. Again, if you know what you're looking at here, you can check it. But if you don't, it's okay. It's for your permit office, and your permit office should know what they're looking at. Same thing goes for this. We had a footing down there that was labeled and marked. I just have a circle where the other circle was in the other drawing. And I'm telling you, these are the things you couldn't see because it was too small, and now it's bigger, and now you can see it. And then we have noted another detail. Again, this is for your permit office. I'm explaining what wasn't viewable in the other drawing here. Because it's bigger, it's more blown up, I can show you more information. And I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. It says the aircraft cable and eye bolt detail for this one. So you can see the eye bolt, you can see the cable and how it's embedded in the concrete. And I tell you that it is loose laid. That's the biggest thing that you get from that one. And this is a basic layout if you have a rectangular building with no wings and no gable extensions. This is on every single page packet that we send out. I've only had a couple scenarios where they needed something building specific, but 90% of the people that we send these out to, it works. It's fine, you get the gist. And then this is the manufacturer details of the truss that is going to be built and sent out to your building. This particular building is a garage. It's a very nice garage, in fact. But I don't have any little things on here that say the manufacturer requires bracing. And I don't have anything here that says, hey, you need bracing. So these two particular trusses don't require bracing because we have the purlins that brace the building and the purlins that brace the building. That is enough. That is all they need. Now, if the manufacturer required them, they would put them. But Mallett likes to put bracing starting at a 20-foot truss, which is what we have here. And so you'll get at least one or two. And that pretty much sums up everything for the drawings. These come directly from my manufacturer, and they do stamp it. And we just include it for you guys for your permit. And that pretty much sums everything up. I thank y'all for y'all's time today. And just call if you have any questions. I'm here if you need me.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Very informative, very educational segment. Thank you so much for your time and all the effort you put into this design packet. So, if you're just tuning in, I'm going to give a quick overview of what you just may have seen, and if you have been watching through and through, thanks for sticking around. And again, I'm going to give you a quick overview of what you just saw. Make it a little more easy to digest. So, inside your design packet, let's talk about this. What the design approval packet is. As you heard, this is the document your designer creates from your contract. So they take everything on the contract, all the specs, all the dimensions, any special requests, and they put this in the design and it all gets part of your packet. Now, this shows the colors, the components, accessories, and building details as we just mentioned. Pages 1 and 4 are your most important pages per Miss Jessica. Now, the whole packet's important, but for what the customers typically want to know, page 1 and 4. So, what you must double check, be sure this information is correct, because once it's signed, we're rolling with it. So, your name and address. Please, please, please be sure your name is not only correct, but it is your legal name, not your nickname. I know that's popular here in Louisiana, but unless Bubba's your real name, don't put Bubba on the contract. All right? All right. Be sure that is correct, and be sure the address is correct. I don't think you want your building built on someone else's property, and we definitely don't want to go through that or have to explain to someone why they're getting a building, although they're probably going to be happy they're getting a Mallett building for free, but it's not going to get that far, trust me. But be sure these things are correct. It seems so simple. It's so simple we overlook it sometimes, so just be sure you double check. Also, be sure you double check your wall height, post size, and post spacing. Be sure it's what you asked for. If you want a 40 by 60 by 14, be sure that paper says 40 by 60 by 14. We're human, sometimes inputting gets messed up. May say 40 by 60 by 12, may say 40 by 60 by 16. Be sure it says 14. Just double check. Things get lost in translation sometimes. Doors, windows, roll-up door sizes, quantities, double check all that, same reasons. Anything listed in additional notes, make sure it is in your packet, and be sure the things listed in additional notes you are aware of and have agreed to before you sign. So these are things you must double check to ensure you not only get the building you want and are hoping to get, but that it goes as smooth as possible without issue. Now, why do the measurements look odd? All dimensions are outside to outside of posts. What does that mean? So you may have a difference of approximately, what was the number, like an inch or so difference. I ordered a 30-foot wide building. Why is this 29 and a quarter, 29 and a half? Whatever that number is, I'm not the designer, but I know this is part of the packet per Jessica's explanation. The measurements are from outside of the building to outside of the building. It is the total dimensions of what will be taken up on the property, not post to post. So keep that in mind. Your building includes girts, 1.5 inch each side. That's the number I was looking for. I should have read ahead. Clearances may look off by 1.5 to 3 inches because structure is measured from the post, not the metal. So keep that in mind when you're looking at your drawings. Why those numbers may look odd, confirm with your designer first off, but they're probably going to tell you it's because the width includes the girts. Cool? Okay. So 3D views and engineering pages. Pictures are for visualization. Color swatches are the official colors. Sometimes the photos in the packet may not be the same colors you picked. You're looking at the design, the layout, how the building is. The color swatches referenced will be the colors of your building. Permit pages show structural details, trusses, posts, and bracing. These pages confirm compliance for your parish or city. Color swatches are color. Those 3-inch total due to girts on the outside. Correct, Mr. Tim. The 3-inch total is due to the girts on the outside of the posts. Now, why accuracy matters. Builders build exactly from this packet. So whatever this packet says is what your builder is going to be using to construct your building. Now, the permit offices approve from it. Whatever is approved is what must be built. So if we're past the approval process and they start building and there's an issue, I'm sorry, it's a little late because what's been permitted and approved is what we have to build. You can't deviate from that. You could get in trouble, we could get in trouble, and the whole building might have to be taken down and rebuilt with new permits, which is a whole new process and a whole lot of extra money. Now, if something is wrong here, it will be wrong in the field as we just talked about. Don't sign until everything matches your contract. As I said, there's a lot of stuff happening. There may be a number off on the design packet. If so, let's check that for accuracy. Accuracy matters. We do our best here at Mallett to make sure everything is perfectly in place, but if there's something that you don't understand or agree with, let us know before we get to these stages, and most definitely before you sign your paperwork. Now, thanks for watching. That's going to be our episode for today. Thank you so much to Jessica for coming in and doing that video for us to better educate everyone on what the design packet looks like and that process. I learned a lot from that. I hope you did too. If not, go back and rewatch it a few times. She's very informative. She really knows her stuff and she cares about what she's doing. But I'm Tyler. This has been The Live. Have a great rest of your day and we'll see you tomorrow.